What's going on, everyone? Wanted to try something a little bit different here. Friday reads have been kind of a staple of BookTube for a while now. Something I've never done, but I think they're making something of a little bit of a resurgence, and I wanted to see if maybe I can do a more relaxed series, see how it goes. I'm not 100% sure. Figured I might talk about maybe like the last book I read, what I'm currently reading like this Friday night, going into the weekend, and then what's next up on the docket. That kind of thing. Unfortunately for everyone, for whoever likes, the relaxing coffee and tea making at the beginning, I never drink coffee and rarely drink some hot tea. So we're gonna have to just make do with pans of my bookshelves and my pets and smoothies, I guess, going forward. But anyways, let me know if this kind of vibe or series or whatever sounds good to you in the comments down below, and we'll see if we can make Friday reads, Friday night reads, I guess, because I won't be able to do them until nighttime on Friday. So just see if that'll be like kind of a thing going forward. So let's just go ahead and get started. So the last book I finished here was this monster, which is Silent Spring Revolution by Douglas Brinkley. John F. Kennedy, Rachel Carson, Lyndon Johnson, Richard Nixon, and the Great Environmental Awakening. So I read this for March of the Mammoths. For those who don't know, that's a really cool reading event where you try to read mammoth books, which are books that are 800 pages or longer. I'll leave a link to Jason's video, who started this several years. I'm not actually 100% sure how many years, but several years at this point. His announcement video for this year. Not too late to join in if you'd like to and everything, but this is my first Douglas Brinkley book. He's written a lot of different presidential histories on a few different topics, but mostly kind of with an environmental, ecological kind of thing. But he's pretty prominent, and I'm really glad I picked this one up. I think I bought, if I remember, yes, I bought this one at I think it was in Indigo's or Chapters. I can't remember which, over in Canada, one of my little Canadian. It's kind of sad. I have to go international just to like get some good deals on books. Sometimes I'm so rural. But anyways, really glad I picked this one up. I don't read a lot of American history, especially for like the 20th century kind of stuff. But this filled like so many gaps in my knowledge base, and I got to look up a whole bunch of different people, like Stuart Udall, who was the Secretary of the Interior under Kennedy and Johnson, and he's got to be like one of the biggest environmental figures of like American history. Like, and I've somehow like basically never have heard of him, or I never retained the information, but he was the one championing like just tons and tons of different nature reserves and parks and monuments and that kind of thing. He had a few flaws, and I am glad the author does kind of point out when people messed up a little bit and had some blind spots in their thinking, or maybe a little bit biased to just like their kind of like home regions, or wanted to kind of curry some political favor and that kind of thing. But a few others, for example, like David Brower, who like kind of managed the Sierra Club in the 50s and 60s, just super amazing like campaigner fundraiser for like a zillion different projects and stuff. Yeah, like I just didn't know a whole lot about it. And one thing, like Lyndon Johnson is like, and Richard Nixon, or neither of them really are that known for their environmental policies and stuff, but I feel like that should be reversed a little bit, like after reading this, for sure. Granted, they both kind of went about it in a little bit different ways per se, especially Nixon. But you gotta kind of give it credit where it's due, even though he didn't really always believe in the things he was doing. He wanted to get the credit for doing so and be the one, to kind of be like, I was the one who kind of put this forward and stuff. Even if he wasn't being spiteful enough to just like, kill it like on his desk or something like that. So, like I said, credit where it is due in a couple of places. Plus, apparently he had a soft spot for cetaceans and whales and things. So, that was kind of like one of his like kind of big motivators as well. Like I said, really glad I read it. It is pretty big. I want to say it's about like 650-ish pages of like text. If you don't count like the endnotes and stuff. Let's see, all the appendices and right, yeah, 673. So then like another 150, 200 pages of appendices and notes and everything. And I kind of stopped reading some of the notes just because it was kind of dragging a little bit as far as like the endnotes and everything. Just because I'm not, like I said, I'm not super keen on like weedy American history and that kind of thing. But and I love Rachel Carson too, and it was kind of cool to see her get like fleshed out a little bit as well. And there are some plates of photographs and things kind of going in there. different figures and places that are mentioned and all kinds of stuff. So if you like conservation or environmental history, I feel like this is basically a must read at this point. Like I don't know what you're doing if you don't read it. Alright, before we go too further, just do want to mention, if you like medieval history or the Middle Ages, stuff like that, definitely check out my book review of El Cid, which was my latest video. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to do a lot more individual book reviews, that kind of thing on the channel. I feel like I'm trying to do a lot now. I'm going to be doing more book reviews. Hopefully this Friday Reads things goes well. At least I'm not 100% sure how it's going to be, but be doing that. Maybe bring back tags again. I got tagged, I think I usually go a while without being tagged in any book tag videos, but I think one day, I can't remember if it was like Tuesday or Wednesday, I had like 3 in one day. It was really weird, so I might start bringing tags back as well. So let's go on to my current read. So I was gifted 5 of these Oxford very short introductions not too long ago, a couple weeks ago. So I figured, I might as well at least read one of them before they kind of go into my pile of just like the monster stack of all the ones that I haven't read. This one is Bacteria by Sebastian Emies. I'm not 100% sure. Emies or Emies. And I've been learning quite a bit here to see if Soph wants to jump up or if she wants to knock over the tripod. We will see. No. You'll make me look dumb? Yep, pretty much. Anyways, this is all it says on the tin here. It's all about bacteria, and I have learned a few different things. Probably one of the ones, the chapters that I was most interested so far, out of like the 4 I've read, is the one all about like kind of bacterial usage for humans, whether that's breaking down different products that we don't want, making cheese and yogurts and that kind of thing. I thought that was pretty cool. And it was also interesting learning about some different bacterial infections and diseases that really weren't a thing until like certain kinds of technology were utilized, such as Legionnaire's disease. That bacteria apparently is just like pretty much worldwide and present in a lot of places out there. So I guess, oh, no, you don't need my smoothie. You don't need my smoothie, do you? Oh. What was I saying? Legionnaire's disease. So it didn't become a thing until like air conditioning units could like aerosolize. Is that a word? I think it is. The water droplets and stuff that carried it, and then you inhale it. Because digesting it like didn't really do anything. So I've been learning quite a bit. I feel like overall that series is just really good for what it is. There's a few flops in there, but there hasn't been too many from what I found. One that I want to try to finish this weekend here is Land Power by Michael Albertus, and the subtitle here is, some of these non-fiction subtitles are like crazy long too. Who has it, who doesn't, and how that determines the fate of societies. And Basic Books was kind enough to send me this copy, so I'll be doing a review hopefully the next week or 2 on it. But it's all about different policies that different nations and countries have utilized to try to deal with land inequality, if that was like kind of a rising social issue for that region. I do like how it's very worldwide in scope. There are chapters on like China, Mexico, Venezuela, Italy, for example. I'm about halfway through, and each of those countries has had like sort of a deep dive. And the book kind of deals with, how did they go about it? Because there's lots of different methods towards I guess seizing all the land and redistributing it. Sometimes it's like, it's very hardcore, such as, in China and stuff, with the Great Leap Forward and everything. In other kinds, it's not as brutal as that per se. It is very much like kind of along the lines of, we have like public lands, kind of like in the United States and Canada, and we did the whole 160 acres kind of ordeal, and other countries have kind of followed suit with stuff like that. But what's interesting is he shows how down the road most of these things have had like either unforeseen problems or problems that might have been kind of like acknowledged but never addressed. So things such as like women's rights basically just disappearing because they can't own land and that kind of thing. So land ownership for women just like tanked in like very patriarchal societies. Obviously, like in some cases, such as like in Italy, if you're only given like 10 or 12 acres, is that enough to really support yourself, in the 50s, 60s and stuff? It's really not, and stuff like that. So I've been learning quite a bit, and like I said, I do like how it is very worldwide in scope. So I will be doing a video on that one at some point in the near future. So 2 books that I want to be reading probably next week at some point. We got Being Logical, which I've read halfway through so far. And for whatever reason, I read it like in the fall of last year. It's not even very long. I think it's only like 150 pages, something like that. But I have been taking notes on it, just as kind of like a refresher for like formal logic stuff. In my philosophy journal and everything. But I read about half of it and then just like paused it and never like continued it. I'm not 100% sure why, so we need to get this one out of the way so I can pick out my next philosophy book to take notes over. I've got a couple ideas for that one. But if you do like philosophy, if you like science, or you like history, there's a bunch of discords down below where I run the philosophy and science ones. And the history one, I'm a co-host. We've got lots of lively conversations every now and then on pretty much all 3 of them. So if any of those topics are your thing, definitely check those out. This is, like I said, this is a very good introduction to, this is like a philosophy, like a logic 101 class. In like a really nice, condensed, easy to follow book, and I just wanted like a refresher on formal logic, just because I haven't really done it in 15 years or so, something like that. So I figure if I'm reading philosophy and that kind of stuff, might as well brush up on that a little bit. And then lastly, for my next history read, I'm going to be doing Augustus, from Revolutionary to Emperor by Adrian Goldsworthy. So Robert G, I'll leave his announcement video for the Roman Emperor's Challenge down below. I'm like kind of participating in it in my own way and stuff. I just read Anthony Everett's Augustus, and I thought it was like okay. It wasn't bad, wasn't really stand out either. So I figure I already have Adrian Goldsworthy's one as well. Might as well read that. He pretty much everything he's put out I've thought was like above average that I've read. I think this will be like my 4th book of his, I believe. I think I read his Punic Wars one, his one on Philip and Alexander there, and I think I listened to the Rome and Persia one, and I thought they were all pretty good. So I figured might as well read all the Roman Emperor biographies that I already own. But there's only one other after this one. I only have Nero next by Anthony Everett and Rodney Ashworth. But I think this will be like my 3rd or 4th one this year. Plus, I got to do a video, kind of just collating all the Roman biographies or Roman Emperor biographies that I've read. Let me know in the comments if you want to see like a Roman Emperor Roman Emperor biography book video, I guess, and I'll see if I can cobble something like that together. So, like I said, I'm gonna try to see if the series kind of goes. I want it to be a little bit more chill, relaxed, more like conversational. I don't know, something along those lines. I'm not really good. I hate editing. I'm not good at the videography stuff, so I'm not 100% sure how well produced they're gonna be compared to like some other people's like vlogs and that kind of stuff. Though I'm hoping. It's really nice. It's 50 degrees out. I love how when I say it's 50 degrees out, super nice for us. It's been like 4 months since it's been 50 degrees. So the snow will be melting off pretty rapidly in the next like week or 2. And then, next month we'll be starting some, I guess, we won't be planning anything for sure, but, I'm planning on doing some gardening, outdoorsy videos, probably starting like in May and stuff like that. So, yeah, like I said, let me know if you like this kind of series and this kind of style and whatnot. And always remember, whatever you end up reading over the weekend, read victoriously.